Good morning, friends. I hope your day is as wonderful as mine is. I am outside in the weather, just enjoying it. It rained yesterday. It rained the day before that and the day before that, and everything is starting to look green. I've put my chickens out in the part of the garden that I haven't planted yet. Oh, it's going to be such a good day. Come watch. My once beautiful pine tree, it looks like it's decimated. Look at it. I started noticing that the needles were turning brown. And I thought, well, aren't they supposed to all turn brown once a year? And so I looked on Google and it said, yeah, but it's in fall. And I didn't really think much more about it. I thought, well, this is Oklahoma and things happen differently. But I noticed that it just seemed different than the needles falling, because usually when the needles fall, it looks more like, let's see if I can zoom in on this tree. It looks more like this, where it's green and then it's just a little bit of brown needles here and there. But this was different, and I thought, okay, so what's going on with this tree? And so I had a friend come over, and we were standing under this tree and things kept falling on us, and we thought, what is that? And we looked over and it's worms, and it's hundreds, maybe thousands of worms, and they're just thick and they're falling out of the tree. So I came out here, somebody told another friend of mine, I was telling him about it, and he said, well, you can see them there. He said you can shoot dawn on them and it'll kill them. So I went to Tractor Supply and I bought one of those sprayers that you could put whatever you want to in it and spray it on whatever you want to spray it on. And I don't really see any like I did the other day. But look at the base of this tree. I think they've eaten everything off of it. And look at them. I have 7 dust out there. I've 7 dusted them all, and some of them are dead, but they're still falling out of the tree, and they're in big clumps. Now, the day that I started, you can see I'd 7 dusted the tree, the base of the tree. You can see it right there. But I can't put any kind of poison on it because, and I got 7 granules underneath it. Because the way that the water flows out here, it flows down this way and it goes right down into where my chickens are. This is the water flow, you can see, and my chickens are just right there behind the shop. That's their home. And I'm going, what am I gonna do? So far they haven't really attacked anything else. I did notice them over here trying to get close to my flowers. Some of them they weren't interested in, but you can see they're at my front door. And I feel like I'm being attacked. What is going on here? You know, I mean, there's nothing really in my flowers. I did put some 7 dust over here in case they started eating on these, because I saw them on the wall behind these, and the only way that they can get to these planters right here, which looks like that's what they want, is to go up the wall and go up to where I have that planter attached to the house, and then go down there to eat those plants. And I came here yesterday and I just kind of raked them with my little, I don't know if you can see that. That's one of them. And it looks like they've stopped since I did that yesterday, and I don't see anything actually really. And my Dick Clark rose is just about ready to bloom, and I don't want them to come in here and eat everything. Look how pretty my flowers are right now. We've had a lot of rain and we've had a lot of cool weather, and my flowers are really flourishing. And I thought, you know, this is really the first year that I've been able to have flowers because of either my health being bad or the weather being bad or just, I don't know, just something didn't work. But look at this. I mean, I've got beautiful flowers now. They're looking really good. They just need to grow. I put some Osmocote in them, and they just need to grow. That one's got a little weed in it, but this one just flat died, and that's okay. I don't really care. And then these are doing okay, and I don't see any of the worms trying to come over and get any of these. Maybe they're not the right nutrition for them. I really don't know. I do see them on the walls over here, though. See right there. See if you can see. Yeah, there. Right there. There's one. And there's a few here and there. Let's see if I can find any more. Oh, here we go. Look at here. That precious little spider. Oh, that's a black widow spider, actually. Look at that. Can you tell that? Let me see if I can get a closer up of it. Where is it? Right there. See the red on its belly? That is a black widow. Well, you know what? It may be poisonous, but it's also eating those worms. So as long as it's eating those worms, it's going to get to live right there. I don't care. I don't mess around out here much anyway, and I think it would run from me before it would jump on me and bite me. Oh, I tell you what, if it's not bed bugs, it's ants. That's what they say, you know, it's just an old saying. And I'm also not sure what caused this. I know what these are. These are armadillos right here. They're looking for grubs. But all of a sudden, I've got big dirt spots in my yard where it was grass, weeds, whatever you want to call it. But never had that happen before, and I wonder, I know last year they had a lot of posts on my gardening Facebook group pages that asked about army worms, and I wonder if that's what these are, because they were eating their grass, they were eating their whole yard. And I just wonder, I don't think that those are the kind of weeds or whatever that only lives early in the spring and then dies out because it's not been that hot to kill it off. So I'm not really that sure what's going on. But I did let my chickens out in this, and look what they have done. It was growing up again. I hadn't been able to get to it yet. Yes, I see you're the only one working. You're such a good girl. It looks like something made it in here overnight and bedded down right there. Look at how tall that grass is now that I've been showing you. I don't know what that is, but I've been picking it off and giving it to the rabbits, and they've been loving it. And I don't know what it is in here that the chickens are liking, but they're not really eating the, I don't know what that is. I thought it was lamb's quarter, but that's not lamb's quarter. They're eating parts of it, but they're not eating all of it. Look at the difference here in this right here and right here behind the fence. I pulled all of those pieces of wood out and threw it over the fence because this is the place that they dust bathe. And I want to keep that free and clear. I had them stacked up on top of those landscape timbers to keep them from digging out underneath my fence. And it was the pieces of wood was falling down into their space, and they couldn't dust bathe. So I came over here with my pickaxe and dug it out down there a little bit better so that they could get down. The top there is nothing but the bedding that came out from their end of the shop where their little house is, and so I dug way down in there so that they could get to dirt, so that they could have real dirt to dust bathe in instead of just that stuff. That's going to be some good compost, though, if I ever decide to use it. It's just that I've been trying to build this up right here because it was so low, and they created big holes for me, and whenever I was really in bad shape and couldn't walk very good, I could not do the whole thing. It would throw me off and I'd fall. But I want to show you my potatoes. And I come back out here to show you my potatoes so I could go around to the, I've got that temporary fence up. I can't get through there, but look, I've got more girls out here and one boy. There's always, Captain is always out here watching for his girls. You know, he let one of them slip through, and then the others heard me and they came over, and here he is out here protecting. Of course, he's eating too, but for the most part, he's protecting them and making sure that everybody in the air, in the sky, knows that there's a rooster out here and he's doing his job. Boy, he's beautiful. He is so beautiful. Well, I've almost made it to the potato patch. Here's Hazel, and I don't know what she's doing with her eggs. I don't know. She pulls them out and leaves them out there for a little while, and then she'll go back and get them and put them back in her nest, so I ain't touching it. I'm wondering if what she's actually really doing is trying to cool them down. It is a little bit warm today, and and this little girl over here that's in timeout, she thinks she wants to sit, but when you put her somewhere to sit, she won't sit down. And she wants to sit in the nest box at night and poop in it, and I don't like that, so she's in timeout. Well, the girls have almost filled up the boxes over there, and baby girl, today is her day to well, it's the first day that she could have chicks hatch. So I know I said it about a week ago, but I was off in my counting. So today is day 19, so tomorrow is day 20, and the boys had them really hatch on day 19. I don't hear anything over there. Of course you couldn't with all these girls screaming their heads off. What is your problem? Just sit down. You can't have that one. She's in there, and she's not done. See, that's a good box. It's already got an egg in it. She's already got an egg in hers. Not one in there. There's not one there. Come on, quit griping. Quit griping. And there's old Roo. He's my buddy. I love him. Hey, girl. How are you today? And I've got another one that's got an issue. My precious little Brahma has something wrong with her foot. I went out a couple of days ago in the rain, and I saw her standing out there in the rain like she couldn't move. And so I grabbed her. It just started raining. So I grabbed her and brought her in. And she's been lame. Yeah, she's lame. So this morning, she was sitting up here, and I put her down here so she could get a drink. And I picked her up and I put her right here so she could get some food. And now she's moved her way back over to the water again. So I'm going to have to check her out and see what's wrong with her, see if somebody's hurt her or what she's got going on. They don't like to show their weakness because they're birds of prey, they're prey birds, prey animals. Is that what they call them? And so they hide everything that's wrong with them. So if they're a little bit lame, there's something serious wrong with their foot. Well, I finally made it out to my potato patch. Isn't it beautiful? I came out here and worked it a couple of times, and it rained again, and so I would hill it back up, give it more, and it would rain again, so I hilled it up again. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Look at that, actually look at that dirt. That is beautiful dirt. That's where I had these pieces of sheet metal stored. And I moved those down there, and then I put these where they were. Of course, they didn't have that whole room, but this is where I had cordoned it off and put a whole bunch of the bedding a couple years ago. And I also put some rabbit rabbit pellets, I guess is what they're called, in there, and had not planted anything in there. And it looks like even the places where I thought I was going to have skips is not actually skips. It's just that they're taking a little bit longer to come up, which is fine. I know when I planted, there was quite a few that didn't look like they had little potatoes that would, you know, well, places where seedlings would come up. And I planted them anyway, but I planted them with one that that was a possibility, because I just wanted to make sure I got everything planted right and good. So at the very end of that row over here, I've got some garlic, and I need to plant some more garlic. But I've got a few things more that I need to plant in here, and I might do it today. We'll see if it's dry enough. It looks like it's pretty wet to me, but I was going to make me a pot of beans this morning, and so I went in and I thought, well, I want some brown beans, and pinto beans actually. And so I went in to where my pinto beans was, and I found these beans that I had bought that's called Anastasia beans. And they're just beautiful. I didn't plant them, but I mean, I didn't buy them because I thought they were good, because I've never had them before. I bought them because they're so beautiful, and I wanted to try and grow some and also eat some. And starting out, everything's just a green bean. It just depends on how long you leave it in the ground. So, I mean, leave it on the plant. So if you have a plant that makes green beans and you just leave it until the plant dies, you'll have this. That's actually, this. Isn't that beautiful? I want to plant those so bad and grow them and see if I can do it myself. That's just how I am. I'm one of these scientist kind of people that I like to see what happens. But I'm just so excited because I just think that it's going to be wonderful. And you can see right over here the difference from here and where those chickens have been. The actual big post standing there is where I have the temporary fence. And on the right hand side is what all of that would have looked like. It would have looked like this. Whoops. Do this. See if I can get that. This thing wants to focus on the fence. I'll do it this way. So the right side of this post is where the chickens have been, and the left side of the post is where they haven't. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this fence right here over and cordon off the garden and let them have that back there so they can eat all that. But I'm going to have to fix it to where they can't get to the apple trees. Apple trees are looking beautiful. I think Jane is dead. She got some, let me see if I can find her. She got some wasps in her one day. Was it last year? And I sprayed it with wasp spray. Just that one area where she was, and it killed that whole thing. Just a little bit at a time. It came out this spring and it frosted, and that was just all it took. And now it's just nothing but a stick. I'm gonna leave it, see what it does. It's right, whoops, right there. It's that stick right there. So I'm gonna leave it and see if it actually, you know, just takes its time and comes back out. But it's just never really done much. But I sure did like her. She was so beautiful. She had big tulips. And so you can see my my apple trees and my plum trees are doing really good. And I've got my peach trees up top, and they're doing good too. But look at the grass down here. I actually did till this once, but I didn't till it like I did the rest of it. So they're gonna enjoy that. They're really gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna end this video begging you, please, if you have not subscribed and you like my content and you've made it all the way to the end, I really need subscribers. I'm on 598 right now, so 2 more would make 600, and that would be just a wonderful little bump up. And then I have all the way to 1,000 before I'm actually what she's doing to that root ball, before I'm actually monetized. And I know, you know, I've given up. I don't have what AI wants me to have. I don't have the little check marks in the box that I had to check whenever I started this channel, because I'm not any of those things, and it knows it. So it doesn't like me too much. So it takes away my subscribers. It takes away my views. I have my Oklahoma gardening channel, and I'll go on it and I'll watch them from there. and I will watch the whole video, and then I'll go back and it'll only show like the first 5 minutes is actually watched. So it takes all of that away from me as far as viewing time. And I've done screenshots on how many viewing hours I have, and then I'll do a screenshot on how many viewing hours that they say that I've had since then, and then I'll go back several days later and I'll take another screenshot, and it'll be the same amount of viewing hours, even though it says, oh, you've had this many views and you've had this many watching hours. It never shows up. So they don't like me, so I guess I've given up on that. But you know what? I haven't given up on you, because I still want to teach you the things that I know, so that, because, you know, here's the thing. These YouTube channels that are these big, hey, do this, do that, here's how to do this. And they've got those big signs on the front of their page. Hey, do you want to learn this? Most of that stuff is bunk. I mean, it is just nothing but bunk. They're telling you things that's not true. They're trying to get you to raise roses from roses, and here's how, and you can do it tomorrow. And it's nothing but bunk. And people watch that instead of people like me who is, you know, experienced and know what I'm doing. You know, maybe I'm not all hypey, you know, and just like, oh yeah, let's do this and let's do that. Because that's what young people seem to want. They want that excitement, and they want that glory, and they want that, oh yeah. And you know what? Life just isn't like that. I have gone back to my old ways and how I was raised. In a lot of things, I hang my clothes up to dry in my garage. I built my own clothesline in my garage, hung it from one side to the other. And I don't even use my dryer unless I absolutely have to. I don't wash my clothes by hand. I don't do that, but I do hang them up to dry because everything's so expensive. I have wood that I use in my insert. It's in my fireplace instead of propane, because my propane is so expensive I can't afford it. And I've got my chickens and my ducks in my garden, and I can, and there's a lot of things that I can do. And I just feel like if people knew how to do that, and it's on YouTube, even whenever I'm gone, it'll still be there, and you can still find it, and you can still learn. You can find out what chickens do. You can find out how many days it takes to, okay, so here's something really cool. You can go gather these eggs today and take them in and eat them. Or you can gather these eggs today and put them under a chicken. And in 19 days, if you've got a rooster and it's fertile and it has the right temperature, which the chicken usually knows, you can have a baby chick in 19 days. Same egg. So, you know, I mean, there's just so many things that young people don't know, and people who are out there trying to say, hey, do this and do that, is not true. It's just not true. And it just really, I want to go on there and say, that's bull, but nobody reads it. And if you would, they wouldn't believe you, because that's not what they want to believe. So anyway, you guys, if you don't, my soapbox is over. It's okay. If you will check that little box and check that little subscribe box and get all the notifications, you'll see my next video. And all this is what I'm doing, is I'm trying to teach you right, like my ancestors taught me. And there's really nothing wrong with going back to the good old days. You know, eat your meals with your family, and just do the right thing all the time. Have integrity. It's doing the right thing all the time, even when nobody's watching. And I'll see you later. Have a good